I'm not going to say who it is, okay? I'm not going to name any names, okay? My thing is to create clarity for all of you who are speculating. And my thing was to create clarity for myself as well, because people were saying, people keep hitting me about Angie mentioning my name. So I felt like it's almost as if Angie mentioned our names for a reason. So I feel like it's my duty to explain certain things that you don't know about, to help you, the fans, have some sort of closure. It might not be full closure until you feel like there is justice done, and we all feel like there's justice done, but it'll give you somewhat of some kind of closure for Stony, okay, which is what I called her and which is what she called me. So I'm going to get into the story of, there were 3 people that Angie was set on when it came to taking her publishing, and these were her words to us. And as we researched the things she felt, we found were true. Okay, so there were 3 people that she mentioned that were once deeply involved with her that she said were taking from her. And as we got deeper into our research, like I said on the last video, those things we found to be true. Let's go deeper into this conversation. There was a gentleman that was a part of Angie, and I can remember the phone call when Angie called me, and she was actually introducing this person to me. And this was before she got rid of the person, right? And she had told the person about me and the team. And this person didn't even want to speak to me on the phone. As a matter of fact, this person was being very kind of, cold with me on the phone, very short with words with me. Just very cold and short and meticulous in how they were talking to me. And the words, they almost not even really talking to me, would talk over me and speak to Angie while I'm on the phone, while we're in a formal meeting of introduction. This is Stone Paxton. He represents this. This is what Stone's going to do, him and his people, blah, 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 right? Well, this gentleman wasn't really he didn't even want to talk to me. He's just very disrespectful. Just going to call it what it is, right? So after that conversation, I get an email, and it was an NDA, right? And I was like, what is this? Because, we had talked about what we were going to do, right? It was an NDA. And so I hit Angie, and I was like, yo, Stoney. I said, somebody sent me an NDA. I was like, what is that about? And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about that NDA. I said, why? I said, why is this dude? Who is this dude, right? Because she didn't tell me that this person was helping her on a certain level of, I'm just going to say that, with paperwork and stuff like that, right? She didn't explain that to me. She didn't disclose that to me. I just thought this guy was somebody that was, maybe part of our circle, part of the whole team. So so she tells me this guy sent the paperwork. She says, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. She says, did he email you? I said, yeah. She said, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I can't remember if it came directly from him or someone else. So she said, don't sign it. Don't worry about signing it. I said, okay. I said, yeah, because that was just kind of weird, Fast forward, she started to tell me that she suspected this particular person had been taking her songs and stealing from her, right? So I was just kind of like, I didn't ask her any questions. I didn't go deep into saying why, what's this guy's position. I just listened to her, and I said, okay, so I'll send you the paperwork over so that we can move forward, because I wanted to make sure everything was solid. So I said, we'll send the paperwork over. The team will get the paperwork over so we can make sure that this guy knows that we're representing you. And we did. She signed the paperwork. She signed our agreement, and we moved forward. Then we started reaching out to this guy, this said person who had been handling a lot of her business. And so stay with me, you guys, because the story is like a roller coaster. So this said person who was handling some of her business concerning her catalog publishing, and when it came to certain advances and stuff like that, she said this person was handling, right? So all of a sudden we couldn't get a hold of this person. I text this person. They said, who are you? And I told them who I am. And I said, we'd like to talk with you about it, Angie Stone. And we've taken over her. I think I said something like we've taken over her the management of her catalog and stuff like that. And we'd like to have a talk with you, the team. And he said, send an email to my office or something like it. Send an email to my office. I'm wording what he probably sounded like, because, I didn't hear him verbally say it, but he texted. So I'm just visualizing the way he said it, because through the text, I could feel that's the way he was saying it, because he already knew who I was. So I felt like he was extending that energy again that he extended on the phone call initially. So I said, okay, cool. He said, and I'll get back with you. So I sent what he needed. I sent the paperwork. We sent the paperwork to him to show him that we had taken over representing her, and he never responded. A month later, he never responded. But the day afterwards, when I initially sent him that message, Angie called me the next day to go backwards, and she said, did he respond back to you? Did he call you back? I said, no, he didn't call back. She said, yeah, he's probably not going to call because he busted, right? That's what she says to me. And I said, wow. I said, yeah, well, I'm just going to keep on trying. She said, yeah, he's probably not going to call you, Stoney. I said, well, we're going to keep on trying. I'm going to keep hitting him up until I get a response, until he talks to us. So he never responded via email, and he never called back ever at that time. So we're making it through November, and Angie's going through different situations. And we're talking. There's things that she needed handled, and she didn't want to go on the road. She said, I don't want to go back on the road to have to financially take care of certain things. And I said, well, the sooner we're able to get a calculation of the songs and the value of everything, Ange, then we're able to get you a check, right? So Ange said, well, she said, I calculated, and I'm owed about 50 million between here and overseas. This is what she said to me, right? And I'm only telling you what she said. And I said, okay. I said, well, I mean, I'm sure we can get you in advance. We just need to do an evaluation of the publishing and make sure that everything is in one place so we can evaluate all the songs at once. That's what I say to her. I say, okay, Stoney, we're going to get all that together. So Angie's team in Atlanta and us, and we all came together, and we went on a mission to do that. Now, as we went on the mission to do that, and we're unveiling these things, we start to see these songs in this person's name. Mind you, I've been trying to reach out to this guy for the longest, this said person, to get a conversation as to what's going on so we can get an understanding and why you're not calling us, right? And this person's not responding. So as we started to see songs show up with this person's name on it, many songs, we started to go, okay. And then Ange Stoney, she really started to like freak out because she was like, wow, so is that why I'm not getting a phone call back? And I mean, you know, if it's black and white, it's black and white, right? If it barks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So I'm kind of, at that point, I'm with her like, okay, yeah, this is not making any sense. He's not returning our phone calls. And finally started to get things transferred over in her name. Some of the songs started to move them, and looking up and seeing 10 songs with this person's name on it, 15, 20, 30, and, 40 songs or something like that with this person's name on it, right? And their name on it in publishing. Still no call. We can't get a call. We can't get an interaction. It didn't even matter. This person just never would respond, right? We tried him one more time, and I sent a text. I try to be calculated with the text and say something like, to get him to respond. I think I said something like, hey, sir, we're just trying to figure this thing out with Angie. We just need your help. I said something to, I'd have to look at the text, but I said something to the tone of that, like just trying to say, let me go a little bit neutral. Maybe this guy will respond. He still did not respond. When Angie passed away, the morning she passed away, this guy hit up her family member to give his condolences and literally said, I'm here for you guys. If you need anything, hit me up. I'm here. I thought that was rather insulting. As a matter of fact, I felt like if Angie was here, she probably would have told him a few things. You know what I'm saying? She would have been highly upset. I get a call, and I'm told this from the family that he hit. I said, what? They said, yeah. I said, and we start comparing phone numbers. And I said, let me get that number, right? So I hit him up randomly with somebody else on the team on the phone, and he answered the phone, right? And I said, oh, he answered the phone. I was like, oh, cool, we can have this conversation. So he answered the phone, and I said who I was. I said, this is Stone. And I said, who else was on the phone? I said, listen, we're calling about the Angie situation. And the meeting began. So I sat back and I'm listening. And we're going back and forth, and the situation gets heated. And at some point, he actually says, when we're just, saying, my people were talking, and they're saying, well, Angie said you were stealing her publishing. He's like, no, I didn't steal the publishing. I didn't take nothing, right? I didn't take nothing. And then I say, well, excuse me, sir, can you just explain why your name is on all of these said songs? Now, remember I told you there's 3 different people that Angie said were taken from her, okay? Those names I will not mention. 3 different people that Angie said was taken from her when it came to publishing. This person was one of the persons she mentioned, right? So he says immediately, I don't have it. He kept saying, no, I don't have it. I don't have her publishing. And I said, well, how do you explain? I said, hey, I'm just telling you what we found. In our research, we found your name on all of these songs. I said, I got a copy of it. I can send you the copy. We got it. We found it, right? He actually says, well, somebody did that. Somebody's setting me up. This what he says. And I'm only repeating what this person said. He said, somebody must have done that. Somebody must have put my name on there. Now, granted, there's 2 different names that were on there, right? He had one name one way, and he had the other name the other way, and they were LLCs, but they're both his names. They were both his actual names, right? So we're just listening to him, right? And then my people are on the phone, so they start back talking, and we kind of let him talk, and he's just talking, and he's going into all these variables about how he paid for Angie's mother's funeral and all this. He's just going into all these other variables, you guys. And we're just listening, right? At this point, we're kind of just like, let him talk. let him get comfortable. And he started talking about personal stuff with Angie's life. And we didn't want to hear that. We just want to know, where is her publishing? Where is her money at? We didn't care about nothing else. But we let him talk. Sometimes you got to let people talk so they can reveal. Because there's a revelation in the conversation, right? So with him revealing, as he was talking, we were hearing what we needed to hear. It got to a point where the conversation got kind of heated. And he was actually saying things like, I don't have to tell y'all shit. I don't have to give y'all shit. Now, these were his words to us on the phone. And the conversation seemed like it was about to go somewhere else. Then it got tapered off, right? And we brought it back. It came back, right? Now, initially, he was saying he didn't know anything about the publishing, right? He didn't know where it was. He didn't know anything about it, right? By the end of that conversation, before we got off the phone, this guy actually said some of the most unpredictable, or he said the most unpredictable thing that we didn't expect he was going to say. He said to us, he said, no, this is what he said before he said that. He said, I don't have to give y'all shit. He said, first of all, before I tell you anything, I need you to send me, I don't know, I don't do on the phone stuff, he says. I don't do this verbal, he said, right? He said, I need y'all to send me the paperwork to show that you were representing her. And my people said, we sent you this a long time ago. Then I say to him, yeah, I emailed it to you. We text you about it. You had multiple emails of us trying to get a hold of you, and you never responded. So now you're telling us to send it to you again when you already have it. So he was saying that I don't do nothing verbal on the phone. I don't do all that verbal stuff. After he had already said, I don't have to give. Now, at the end of that conversation, this same person said, right before the conversation was over with, I kid you not, I'm not even making this up. You can't make stuff like this up. This is like a freaking movie, man. It's just unfortunate that we lost Angie Stone, our sister, man. It's unfortunate we lost her. This is like a bad movie, man. So by the end of the conversation, this same person is saying this. Well, okay, listen, I do know where the publishing is. And, once y'all send me that paperwork, I'll connect you with the people that's got it and y'all can yell at them. This person's exact words. And we all were in shock. I was in shock. I actually couldn't believe it, right? So I say to him, do you mind if I call said person and get them on the line too? Because that way we can get all this cleared out and open. My exact words, right? He said, sure, go ahead. I click over. I call Angie's family. We get a few people on the phone. Everybody's listening and talking. And he starts back talking. And this young lady that's speaking, as soon as he heard her speak, he doesn't like her at all, right? At all. Because during our conversation, the thing he mentioned to us also about Angie is, he said, Angie's got all these weird people around her. And I told Angie she need to do non-disclosure agreements with everybody. And then I didn't like this one particular girl around Angie. And I told Angie, I don't like her. And I don't really want to deal with her. And you need to do non-disclosures with people. Now, some of the things he said, now I'm starting to understand, made sense. Some of the things he said, and I'll tell you on part 3 what I mean by that, right? Some of the things he said made sense when it came to non-disclosure agreements with certain people. Because certain people you just can't trust. Artists, celebrities that have people around them and they're discussing their personal business with people, and people have ulterior motives with celebrities. And some people just want to be attached to a celebrity. Some people want to be that celebrity. Some people want to live their life. Some people want to be them completely. And if they can't be them, they lay under them and be around them every day. You have a lot of people like this, okay? So celebrities have to be careful. So I understood when he said that, right? Pertaining to certain people. And this particular person, I kind of felt the same way about. Later on, as I got to know this person a little bit more, because a few things happened and I kind of stepped back and didn't want to deal with this person no more, right? So this person and this gentleman, they were kind of going at it. And I said, she would like to speak to you. And so she went off on him. She told me it's full of shit. She said, you're bull. We tried to get a hold of you. You didn't answer none of your calls. And yes, your name is on the publishing. Absolutely, your name is on the publishing. We pulled it all up. We have all the paperwork. You're a liar. You don't return none of your phone. I mean, they were going at it so much so that my people had to tell him to relax and calm down, because for some reason he just has this thing about her. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but he didn't like her and he doesn't like her at all. So we finally got that calmed down. She said what she had to say, and she said, you're full of and you're a liar, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And you took her songs, and she was going in on them too, right? So, and I told him, I said, yeah, so that's what I was trying to tell you. All the songs show up in your name, and we're just trying to figure out why. We're trying to figure out why these many songs are in your name, right? Then there's another situation where her original deal that she's still on 50% of, we couldn't find where that 50% of was. Now I'd have to pull that. I got that paperwork on me because Angie sent it, but I'd have to pull it up, and I wouldn't show the paperwork, but I'd read to you the breakdown and what she was getting back then so you understand what she was owed. So, And then another person that she felt like had just completely dipped on her. She couldn't get a hold of this person. They left out of her life. And all these people seemed to reappear when she passed away. Now, once again, what I am sharing with you are the things that I am privy to knowing because I was part of helping her. I was helping Angie. And these things I had to deal with. These things I had to be a part of. These things I had to help figure out how to solve to make things better for her so we can get her some money. And it got to a point to where, you know, I wish that everybody that had never met Angie could meet her, because this woman was an amazing lady, man. She always knew how to make a person feel special, like a brother or a sister or uncle or a cousin. She just had that thing, man. She just had a super warm heart. But I hated to see her go through struggles. When she was in the hospital, I didn't actually know she was in the hospital the times that I was talking to her. She was sick in the hospital and was still calling me. And I didn't know she was in the hospital until after she was out, when she told me all that time she was in the hospital dealing with that situation with her kidneys. I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? So I told her, I said, you know what? I said, even if I have to borrow equity from one of the homes that I have interest in, I'll give you the money to cover your bills until we close on this deal. That's how deeply invested I was in believing in Angie and what she was owed, and wanting to see her not go through anything remotely close to having to deal with any sort of struggles. This woman is one of the most valuable women to soul music and neo soul. The most valuable. There's no reason she should have been there's no reason, I'm sorry, because I'm thinking about so many things, I might get tongue twisted here and there, but there's no reason she should have been dealing with any sort of struggles when her music is worth so much money, when her music was generating so much money for her. She should have never had to go on the road, which is, she didn't want to. She didn't want to be on the road. But if you knew Angie, she was all about taking care of her family, and she was all about taking care of people. You know, Angie would bring people in literally off the streets and help them out. You know, she believed in everybody. You feel me? So that situation with this gentleman, that was the last conversation he had with us in the last call, was him saying, I know where the publishing is. And when y'all give me the paperwork to show me that you guys are really representing her, I'll connect you with the people that have it, and you can yell at them. And it messed us up. And we ended that phone call in complete disarray as to what had just happened, because it was shocking to hear, after hearing the person not talking to you, not responding, only to finally get a hold of them, have to trick that person and call them and get their new number and call them, and they answer, and we forced the meeting. That was pretty much a forced meeting, to only hear the person act up and very rude with you in the beginning, only in the end of that conversation to say they know where the publishing is. I don't know, you guys. That just really had me blown away. And you're hearing this firsthand. Once again, I'll say this is not something that I went on YouTube and brought to you from somebody else's channel. It's not something that someone told me and I'm sharing with you. I'm sharing this information from my experience, my conversation, and helping bring Angie's situations back to her norm is what we were trying to do, and get her money funded in her hands and in her bank, and her family smiling, her happy, like she should be, and enjoying her life like she should have been. Okay? So that's why Angie Stone mentioned my name, you guys. And I'm going to do a part 3 to this, because there's so many levels to this, man. There's so many levels to this, man. I mean, I could literally go on forever, but I'm not going to. This is part 2. Part 3 is coming, you guys. I'm going to talk about this accident, and I'm going to mention a couple names, but I don't know, man. Leave your comments. Tell me what you guys think. I'm just giving you the truth. I don't use the word receipts, because I don't believe in that. I just believe in, what is the truth or what isn't the truth. And that woman was a great woman, and she made a lot of money, and she deserved to enjoy her money. She deserved to spend her money with her family, to take them on vacations, to enjoy herself, to have a good time with her grandkids, her daughters, her son. She didn't get a chance to really live her life in peace like you see white celebrities when they retire. They get to enjoy their money. Why do our black artists, they don't get to retire or go out in peace with a historical situation attached to their name, living nice, vacation, property, just peace, no struggle? Why do African-American artists always have to, this is the narrative as far as how their lives always have to end when they're in the music industry? There has to be a deeper answer to this, and we know the answer to it, but something has to be a solution for this, because nobody deserves for their life to end in the way of where they work so hard and they're not able to benefit off of their publishing. they're not able to enjoy their family and allow their family to really enjoy and reap the rewards of their labor. They shouldn't have to wait until they pass away for something to be fixed. They should not have to wait, and their family shouldn't have to wait till they die for them to receive something, for them to feel the warmth of what their family member contributed to the world. Yeah, you guys, Angie was she was an angel. And the more and more I think about this, I see that she mentioned my name and my brother's name for a reason. She wanted us to continue her mission. And I will do everything that I can do to keep her legacy alive on my side through myself and the people I know and other artists, and helping other artists like I've always done, like Angie does. And through my own personal life and my music, I'll do everything I can to keep her legacy alive, you guys.
$50 million gone. A music legend betrayed. This is the story of Angie Stone and the shocking truth behind her stolen legacy. Today, we're diving deep into Stone Paxton's explosive investigation, uncovering the 3 people accused of stealing, Angie's publishing, and the heartbreaking fight she waged until her final days. Buckle up. This is a story you won't forget. Angie Stone wasn't just a soul music icon, she was a powerhouse. But behind the scenes, her life was a nightmare. She believed $50 million was stolen from her music catalog, 30 to 40 songs, gone. While she was on dialysis, fighting for her health, she was also fighting to pay bills. Stone Paxton reveals she didn't want to tour, but she had no choice. Imagine creating timeless music, only to watch someone else cash in. This was Angie's reality, and it's a story that will leave you furious. Who would do this? Angie pointed the finger at 3 people. One in particular stood out. Stone Paxton describes this person as cold, dismissive, and downright shady. When Angie's family confronted them, things got explosive. And here's the kicker. This person's name was on 30 to 40 of Angie's songs. But when confronted, their response? I was set up. Yeah, right. But just wait, it gets crazier. Stone Paxton finally got this person on the phone, and what happened next was unreal. At first, they denied everything. I didn't take anything, they said. But as the call went on, the truth started slipping out. By the end, they admitted, I know where the publishing is. But there was a catch. They demanded paperwork they'd already been sent months ago. Stone was stunned. This wasn't just shady, it was calculated. And it left everyone wondering, was this person playing games, or was there more to the story? While this drama unfolded, Angie's health was failing. She was on dialysis, but she kept fighting, calling Stone Paxton from her hospital bed, determined to see justice done. Stone was so moved, he offered to cover her medical bills himself. But tragically, Angie passed away before she could see her legacy restored. Her family was left picking up the pieces, fighting for what she deserved. Angie Stone gave us her heart through her music, but in the end, the industry broke hers. Angie's story isn't just about her, it's about a broken system. 2, many Black artists are stripped of their work, their money, and their legacy. Stone Paxton calls it out bluntly, why do our legends have to fight for what's theirs? He's vowed to continue Angie's mission, helping other artists avoid the same fate. Because here's the truth, Angie Stone deserved better. And so do the artists who come after her. Let's break it down. $50 million stolen. 3 suspects. 1 shocking phone call. Angie Stone fought until her last breath, but the system failed her. What do you think? Will justice ever be served? Drop your thoughts below, and stay tuned, because in part 3, Stone Paxton promises to reveal even more, including the names of those involved. This story isn't over. Don't miss it.